The vibe is strong. Yeah. Right. So I was born into a Seventh-day Adventist church, right. And grew up in it. But life wasn't easy, so I have to come from my village to come to Accra to come and sell. So, selling those time and things like that. And then I had an encounter with God. So that was how it started. One of those days, Abaye arrested me and took my goods to the police station. And then whilst I was crying and things, a lady looked at me and said, "You also for me and Owusu." So that word, struck me so much that night I couldn't stay. So I had to follow somebody to a church. And then I found myself in the Christ Apostolic Church that same night. And that same night, the pastor also confirmed that I'm a man of God. Right. And then I'm supposed to be doing the work of God. Right. So from that night, I couldn't, resist the call of God upon my life. And then it continued from there. That's where I accepted the call of God. And then...
Right, but insightful, but how the switch? Because that people have perceptions about Seventh-day Adventists, right. And the switch may have not been easy, even though people had told you that, oh, you are going to be a man of God. So what was the switch? How were you able to settle from, moving from that jurisdiction?
It wasn't easy because my father is a Seventh-day Adventist pastor. Right. He started most of the churches in New Edibiasi. He founded most of the SDA churches in New Edibiasi with me. And I was an evangelist in the church. I was an AY in the church. I grew up in it. So it was very difficult because coming into the Sunday style and speaking in tongues, blah, 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 I was accused that, maybe I'm having a mental problem because I just came to Accra and then I went back to the village and I'm speaking in tongues and I'm preaching. And so it wasn't easy. It took me time, took me many years for even my parents, my dad, to accept that, yes, indeed, it was a call of God and he has to support me and accept me. So I know for sure that whenever you receive any call or you are diverting to any system, by all means, the system will reject you, but you have to keep pushing.
What would you say your parents sat and said, okay, my son, Sisiade, I said, there's nothing we can do about it. This is where he is.
Almost about after 10 years.
After 10 years?
Yes, I went to Bible school, traveled to Nigeria, went to Bible school, university in Nigeria, yet still they were not still believing that God have called me and things like that. So it was one day, my kid sister fell sick, and after they have taken her to many hospitals and she was not healed, then somebody told my mother, "Now will buy yourself for now, they will buy a baby." They took my kid sister to a hospital, to a herbalist. And then the herbalist told my mom that we'll buy yourself opinion.
The herbalist said that?
Yes, said that.
Right.
So I think that was when the family got to know, say, hey, Odifo, if you are. So then they brought my sister to me, and thanks be to God, my sister got healed.
Right.
So from there,
But you see, if there's anything that runs through your story, it's the same thing I keep hearing. People kept telling me, you are going to be a pastor.
Yeah.
What was the final thing that made you say, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, the pastor Nana SSMA? And did you have any other ambitions? Did you have plans of doing something else before?
Yes, I wanted to be a politician.
Right.
Growing up, I really wanted to be a politician. I saw leadership in me. Right from the village. Anytime you see me, I gather people, I gather children, I gather students, I will be leading. Everywhere I found myself, I will be leading. So if I haven't been a pastor, I knew that by all means I would have found myself
in the politics, right?
In political leadership and things like that. But, when that lady said that thing, I actually didn't accept it. But when I went to the church, and then the pastor also confirmed that I have a call of God, and that I have been having that kind of this thing. I've been seeing visions, I'm raising people, I'm taking people from the sea, from the water, I've been hearing voices that I'm a pastor, but I've been ignoring it. I walked and I meet people and they would call me and say, do you know that you're a man of God? I say, oh, I'm in Germany. So because in the church where I grew up, there was nothing like, you are becoming a man of God. SDA, I saw yes, sir. So there was nothing like that. So, but it was that day that the woman said it, and then the pastor confirmed it. And in the night, I had another dream encounter that same night.
Right.
So it was like a 24-hour change.
Right.
You know, so, but from there, I needed to study, I needed to know, be sure that the call of God was truly on me. So I had to go through school, I had to go through Bible school, I had to, you know, have a mentor to teach me the things of the Spirit, and also to be groomed, you know, which took me almost 7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So 7 years, wow.
Oh,
but
yes.
now let's get into ministry. You've been here for decades, as I said. But
Right.
how many years have you been doing ministry actively?
Accra alone is 23 years now.
23 years.
Yes.
But what went into, you know, creation and building of Pottersville? Because anytime we say Pottersville, we know you were
Right.
attached to it.
Right.
What went into building that and saying, okay, it's time for me to build a church for God?
Yeah, so when I finished my Bible school in Nigeria, I wanted to do missions. I wanted to travel all over Africa and do missions, planting churches and things, which I did many. But along the way, the Lord spoke to me that I should come to Ghana and raise prophets. At the time, the year 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, there were a lot of prophets that were erupting in this country, but there were not educational facilities or training systems for prophets.
Right.
So me being a prophet and going to Nigeria to Bible school, the Lord spoke to me that he didn't just take me to Bible school just to learn, but to come and help my fellow prophets. So I had that vision that I should come back to Ghana. It wasn't easy because by then, Nigerians have accepted me. They thought I was Nigerian.
Okay.
Even now, people think that I'm a Nigerian, that I've come to Ghana to change or something of that sort. Because my dialect, you know, staying in Nigeria for almost 6 years,
It has an effect on your
it
dialect.
really affected my dialect. And
Right.
sometimes I speak like a Nigerian.
Right.
And my height too shows as if I'm an Igbo man.
Right. Right.
You know, so when I walk through Nigeria, nobody ever
Doubts.
doubt that I'm a Ghanaian.
But let me ask this very interesting question, because, you know, people come from Nigeria and say, oh, there are pastors that come from Nigeria to Ghana, they are crook pastors, they come to fraud. So when you came to Ghana,
Right.
after, you know, going to Nigeria and learning all of that, you came back to Ghana, was it easy? Did Ghanaians accept you back? They didn't say, oh, wako fremu or something like that?
It wasn't easy though, but nobody said Semako Fremus
All right.
by then. I need a man, someone can I am auntie.
Oh, no.
But the only thing I ever had a problem with, because I didn't grow up here in the ministry life.
Right.
You know, I went to Nigeria to be schooled there. So all my mates were actually from there. So it was hardly for me to find friends. You know, for you to find somebody that is also into ministry and all kinds of things. So that was, I think, my problem. But along the line, you know, there are times that there are people that you can doubt them, but you can't doubt their results. You know, results is so powerful and evident that you can't doubt it.
Right.
So that was what happened. Because when I came in, I started the prophetic school, which was one of the unique schools ever to happen in Ghana.
Right.
In fact, by then, there was no man of God or prophet who had started a prophetic school.
Right.
So when I started the school of a prophet, 2003, on the 8th November 2003, that's about 22 years ago.
Right.
Yes. You know, that was a big vision for me. I didn't have a church by then. I was young. If right now I still look young small. What about 23 years ago?
I mean,
23 years ago,
Right.
starting a Bible school, training prophet. What do you know? Where are you coming from? So that was the problem. How people understand, a young man, no, I started prophetic school.
Right.
But it was a calling, so I have to push through. And I pushed through up to now. We have trained almost, our school have trained almost about 13,000 pastors now.
wow,
Yeah.
13,000. That's massive. That's massive. But Bishop, now let's get into it. You know, people say things are really not the same. Probably 23 years ago, Christianity then had its own image.
Yeah.
Now we have a lot of people bashing Christianity, especially when it comes to the Gen Zs and church. What do you think about Christianity now? Do you think it has changed any differently?
I think that the change should have come earlier. You know, because the reality is that is what we are seeing today. We should have known it, but the then Christianity, the then knowledge that of the time, or the explanation or our understanding of certain things was wrong. But I think that God allowed it to happen that way, and now God is also allowing these things to happen. So I think that there have not been a very powerful change like that.
Right.
Just that is the reality.
Right.
We must come to a place where we understand God loves everybody and God accepts everybody. And it doesn't matter how you dress, it doesn't matter whatever, you know. What matter is influence. What matter is impact. What matter is the knowledge that you are having to affect your other people and things like that. Which I believe that's what is happening. The new Gen Z generation think that the old is wrong, and the old think that the new is wrong.
Right.
There must be a balance. The old is right, and the new is right also. But there must be a balance for us to have a benchmark or a...
So where do we find the balance? Because it's still going on. You know,
Right.
like you said, the older people sit and say, hey, nah, right? And then the young also sit and say, as a man, what you used to believe
there must be further explanation of things. There must be definiting of certain things today. Like Sunday, some young generation came to me from the University of Ghana to interview me. And they were asking of duku and then trouser and all those kind of things. And I told them it was a total wrong perception and wrong explanation for those people that said that the Bible said that you should cover your head with duku. The Bible never said that. Okay, there was no scripture that the Bible said you should cover your head with duku. It said cover your head with your hair. That's what is in the Bible. You know, but there was a misinterpretation. There was a misconception at that time.
Right.
You understand? And sometimes culture has a way that it leads into explanations of things. Because that time, you know, there were no money, there were the women, they obeyed the crown wedding.
Right.
So the only thing is cover your hair and then move on.
Right.
So if you go and preach, say, man, that thing, the person may leave the church and things like that. So culture also have a way of trying to define our revelations of time and things. That's what happened. So today, if somebody wears a hair and doesn't put on duku and things, it is not a sin.
Right.
Okay? Right. Wearing trousers and things like that, it's not a sin. Exposing yourself to danger and to certain influences that will affect your health, affect other people, that's a problem. But wearing trousers, it's not a sin. There's no problem about it.
Right.
Because, you know, if you check the Bible, the rare dress that men were supposed to wear is skirt. Men were supposed to wear skirt. We were supposed to wear long dress. Women were supposed to wear something that covers their private part because your case is delicate. Your private section is delicate. You know, air and things are not supposed to. You understand?
Right. Right.
So they are supposed to cover more. The women are supposed to cover more. But for men, you can just put on. You see how the Europeans and the British, the Scottish and things like that. See how they dress. Right. And even in those days, tetemremu, na ya den tomana e kata ya hunsa. But a man no bo amosin e de kata omo private. So ye to aso ankanya ma de na trouser and a mema de na skirt. So why? You understand? So it was a lack of understanding, lack of certain explanation of wisdom. You know, so we just created those things and things like that. When somebody wears trousers that defend and protect the child, look at how many girls are being raped every day. You know, look at how many young children are being taken advantage of, simply because they are opened. And if they will wear the trouser to protect themselves, are you telling me God is not happy with it? Are you hearing me? So it was a misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and misdefinition of the time.
Right.
So now, I think it's not a problem at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Things are not really the same anymore, and we are here with Bishop, and he's telling us so much. Bishop is here telling us so much, and I know that you at home would want to join the conversation. So our WhatsApp lines are open 055 157 5757. Again, 055 157 5757. It's not too late. We still have Bishop Sam Owusu seated in here. Now, Bishop, let's get into it. I want to know, you see, we're talking about perceptions and what people say. In this same world we find ourselves in currently, we hear people saying that as a Christopher, now it has turned into a business venture more than the spirituality of it. That's what people are saying. That when you look at Christianity now, it looks like pastors are only thinking about their pockets, their next house, their next building, their next project, their next car, instead of the people and then the spirituality that is attached to it. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't agree with them. I think Christianity is the most invested area that we must understand. It's not easy to push the gospel. It's a capital intensive area. I must also admit that a lot of pastors portray a little bit of that, their wealth or on social media because of social media too. So only few people, we see them driving some small cars. But mind you, before any pastor will drive those cars or have those money, he might have been working for about 15 to 20 years. Might be invested in about 3, 4, 5 TV stations, running radio stations, investing into those things, which if you personally, if you have invested into any business, you would have recruited more than that. Do you understand me? No pastor will put all their money into buying cars and have a church tomorrow.
But I heard you say business. But then that means, from what you're saying, that means the church really is a business.
The church is not a business. It's a spiritual work.
Right.
Do you understand me? But there is an investment that goes into it.
Okay.
There's an investment that goes into it. For you to be on TV, for you to be on radio, for you to make posters, for you to build the church, for you to have the church, do you know how much it is to run a church today?
But Pastor, if we are investing into something, you are expecting your returns, right? Every businessman says, okay, when I invest into this in a few years, I should have retained my benefits, right? So that's what we are saying, that every pastor goes into it, or pastors go into the ministry saying, okay, I am investing probably 100,000 Ghana cedis. In the next 3 years, I should be able to get it back. Is that not it?
No, you can't. That's one thing about ministry. You can't predict it. That's why it is called a blessing. You cannot say that I'm going to invest into it and I'm going to get this. You understand me? For business, if you invest 100,000, you are sure of what you are getting.
Right.
In ministry, you are not sure.
Right.
You can go to a crusade, invest a lot into the crusade, and will never have 1 cedi from that crusade, which it has happened to me many times. I go into crusade, spend about 200, 300,000 Ghana cedis in that crusade. And in that crusade, nobody can give you 1 cedi.
Right.
We go there to donate clothes, we donate things, we give people money, we do all kinds of things, our machines, everything, and you come back. So it is only the blessings of the Lord. As you work, then you will receive it. What I'm trying to say is that only few people are just living that life, showing in public that, most of them have pure businesses that are part of the ministry work. Ministry work is an investment which you don't even know when you're going to get the money from. You don't know when, you don't know how.
Right.
You cannot even articulate when your money, your profit is coming. In business, you know. And if you don't get the money, you may stop. But in ministry, either you get it or you don't get it, you have to continue to do it.
Right.
That's what ministry is about. That's why ministry is different from a pure business venture.
Right. Okay, we get that.
Right.
But now, you know, Ghana is 68 years.
Okay.
And if there's anything, a lot of people associate Christianity to Ghana a lot, right? Okay. So would you say that Christianity has played a huge impact in our growth as a country?
In fact, if we have to be truthful to ourselves, Christianity should have been one of the most celebrated, acknowledged, area of our life. Because Christianity that brought slavery, which we attest to that,
right,
is the same thing that brought education to this country. It brought health to this country. So if our education system came out of Christianity, if our health came out of Christianity, if many people, all these great men on earth in this country, many of them have their root from Christianity. If there is an area we must appreciate that have contributed to the rebuilding and establishment of our country, that's Christianity. Because it has played a major role in reforming our social, system.
Right.
Every area of our social system is being structured by Christianity.
Right.
Before the Muslims came, before the other religions and other things came to this country, okay, I am not against our traditional system. But our traditional system was not globally recognized. It was not connected to globality. It was not giving us access to be internationally, productive until the white man brought us. It is not only us, the whole world. When they brought Christianity, then they carried this. So Christianity has really impacted our world as Ghanaians so much.
Well, but there's a school of thought that
Right.
says to say that, this same church we're talking about, right? It is in this same church that we have people stealing. It's in this same church that we have people ruling this country, but it's not going the way we're expecting it to. So when you say Christianity should be respected, right? Sometimes it doesn't sound that way to us.
I understand, but if Christianity, almost everybody have gone to church. Almost everybody have gone to Christian school. almost everybody have been taught by a Christian mother or Christian teacher or a Muslim mother or Muslim father or something. And we still have this. What about if the Christianity was not there?
Right.
What about if we didn't have these opportunities? What would have happened to our country? We would have totally been destroyed. So Christianity has really, really reformed our nation. It has reformed our family life. Up to now, there is no school in the world that teaches people how to have families, how to build marriages, how to take care of your children. It's only in church that you learn that. It's only in church we even learn how to be socially resourceful and impactful. You go to school, you are going to learn accountancy you are learning. Right. You are learning mathematics, now mathematics you are learning. Right. It's only in church that we teach people how to be social, how to be, influence our society. In fact, the church is even teaching people how to save money for their future. The church is teaching people how to build. Nothing teaches us to build. Nobody, there's no system in this country that teaches our people to think about the future. Right. There's no system that is teaching us how to take care of our families, how to take care of our wives and our children. There's no system that is teaching the women how to treat your family. In fact, these days, parents do not even have time to even teach their children the values of life. Right. It's Christianity, the church. So if the church has not been there, what would have happened?
Right. If the church wasn't there, what would happen? Or if you didn't have the church, what would we be doing, right? Yeah. Bishop, we have a video that we want you to watch. So take a look at this video and then we ask you very important questions from there. So let's take a look at the video.
MPP want to come back to power. Number one, they should bring back all those people that left the party. They should gather all of them back. Everyone that have been offended, everyone that was sidelined, everyone that was rejected, everyone that was insulted, everyone that was taken away, they should go back and apologize to all of them. Bring all of them. Bring all of them. And then, now they can have a leverage in the realms of the spirit. They should honor the man of God who stood for them. They should now honor them again. They shouldn't just choose only one person. There are several men of God who fought for them, but when they gained power, they forgot them. They looked down on their churches and they said, this man is not qualified. He doesn't have integrity. But when they were prophesying, they had integrity and they had power. So if they want to come back to power, the election was spiritual. They should go back and go and look for all those men and honor their fathers, those MPP fathers, those who have died and those who are alive. Kufuor, he's a voice of their party. He's the father of their party. The more they silence him, the more they put him aside, the more their party will disintegrate. Kufuor has a work to do. He's the only man that can call the party and call all of them and say, come back home. Let's restructure our party. They have to go and apologize to him. And then maybe they will plan and then try to vote.
So before we saw this video, right, so we heard Bishop said it to us that if he wasn't a pastor, what would he have done? He would have gone into politics, right? And there's anything that we know is the fact that you've been very vocal about such things.
Right.
But my question is, why should they go back to Kufuor to apologize? Why?
Well, okay, one of the gifts that God has given to me is, maybe I can say spiritual, scientist. That's what I tell people. Right. I'm able to read into things, into leadership, because I'm an advisor and also a peace ambassador to many, many leaders around the world and things like that. I'm able to sit back spiritually and do analysis, spiritually, and check where you have fallen, where you have to put up your life to be able to match up to the next phase of your life. So after much consideration, praying for both political parties, I realized this is the problem. They have to do this kind of thing to be able to come into power. Because a nation without leaders or a group of people without respecting their leaders and fathers and mentors will be tormented.
Right.
So if they really want to do, this is what they are supposed to go through and things like that. Yeah. So that's what informed those things.
But I mean, they were in power for 8 years.
Right.
Would you say that their rule or the way they led the country wasn't good, and all that is still back to the fact that they, as you said, neglected former President Kufuor?
Yeah, that's what they did. 8 years. They spiritually, if you go and check spiritually, they, throw him out. A man of his caliber, a man that laid the foundation. When they were coming 2016, it was his message and his effort and his labor. It was his sweat that they brought. Colonel Kufuor didn't have any record. He didn't have any evidence to prove that he can do the work. He was only basing on Kufuor's records. You understand? Kufuor's labor, sweats, and life sacrifices that he was using as a weapon to win power. And that was what the nation saw, that, oh, these people, when they come, they think about us, so let's give them the chance. It was 2020, by then, Nana Akufo-Addo has already, also done his own, so he brought his own evidences and things like that. But if a man can give you such an evidence and give you the throne, and you came into power and have that, authority and things like that, that man should not be sidelined. Right. That man should not. But if you look into their system, you saw that almost all the people that came through Kufuor was taken out. The man is not in power again. Right. So why are you afraid of his people? Right. But you see, there are people that you don't throw them out in the journey. When somebody provides a ladder for you to climb, when you get to the top, don't throw the ladder away. Because when you are coming down, you will need that same ladder to come up. Right. Or you will need other people to climb the same ladder to come to where you are. Right. That's what they did. Okay? Yeah.
I think we can all agree with that. I get where you're coming from. But now let's get into the National Cathedral, because I know that you're one person who has spoken at large about it, right? So, I mean, our former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, said, okay, we're going to build a cathedral. And unfortunately, fortunately, it didn't go the way we were expected, because it wasn't completed. Up to now, we still don't have it. Right. And you are a man who always says, I'm a man of the spirit. So if there's anything, the spiritual implications this can have on us. So as a country that has been promised a cathedral for the Lord where his people can worship under, it didn't come to pass. Do you think it can have spiritual implications on? Oh,
yes, it will have spiritual implications. It's a sad, very, very sad news to hear or to see that, a president, even if it's his own personal idea, or it was given to him by prophecy, which some of us will know that it was a revelation. It was a prophecy. Nana, if you want to be, the Lord said this, and he took it personally to do it. And then the whole nation, Christians, came together with Digger. Oh, look at how many buildings that were broken down, destroyed, taking people that went through sadness and pain, rejection and all those things, and then at the end of the day, we left it just like that. It's a shame to Christians. It's a shame to, it's like now all the building that they have built there, you have gone to destroy them, so you are coming to build a new modern building for the family, and you didn't build. You have exposed the family to danger. The Christians do not have protection spiritually. There's a lack of divine protection covering upon the family, because the family doesn't have a head now. A Christian only need three. And yes, sir, the children will be disintegrated. And that's what is happening right now. Look at how Christianity, we are messing up around and things like that. If we don't look into it, if the Christian organization, the Christian, and I've been calling that the Christian Council, the Charismatic Council, the Pentecostal Council, need to come together. I don't like it. I don't know why we cannot, we can't show unity. We are preaching unity. We are preaching love. We are preaching peace. We are telling everybody to be together. And yet we cannot be together. The Christian Council is different from the Pentecostal Council. The Pentecostal Council is different from the Charismatic Council. The Charismatic Council is different from the Prophetic Council. Why? We should come together.
But is that not the same reason why people say the church has failed us?
The church has not failed. The church has not failed. Individually, doing very massively, impacting the nation.
But why can't we be united? Because you've just said it, that we are not a united front.
Yeah, that's one area.
We get it that we are different denominations.
Right.
But why is it that we cannot be, united?
That is the issue. The president called and everybody was there. And I look at it, I said, wow. President is calling everybody, charismatic, Pentecostal, Orthodox, everybody is there.
Right.
So why can't we have one Christian leader who can call all Christian leaders and come and all of us go? Power play.
Right.
How? I have been calling. Christians must come together. It doesn't matter what denominational differences. You can be of Paul, you can be of Peter, you can be of Timothy, you can be of different distance, but one God, one faith, one heaven,
Right.
one Holy Spirit. We can put our differences together and come together and have one home and build this cathedral.
Right.
Is it not a shame that Christians we are going to build National Cathedral and we didn't build and we are just Nana Akufo-Addo didn't build. It's not Nana Akufo-Addo's fault. One day we win a Juma. He has finished, he's gone. That he will never be a president again. So there's no way he's going to have an opportunity to come back again. That thing should be removed from that place. We should find a new place to build.
Right. But you see, you're calling for unity. But in this same space we find ourselves, we have the big men that were behind this main project who have resigned and don't want to come back. So in this case, if those who have decided as, let's do this are no longer there, what can we do? What at all can we as Christians?
For the sake of the gospel, we need to come back.
Right.
For the sake of the nation, our fathers need to come back to do it. If individually they have been able to build massive cathedrals, what stops us to come together to do this one? There are times we have to forget our integrity and think about what is important.
Right.
Two things in driving everybody: urgent things in life and important things in life.
Right.
When you go to the Europe, Americans and the Western world, you know what? They can set up a company that do not bring profit, but is making impact.
Right.
For instance, companies like Matches Boss, that they do Matches Boss, how much do they get? How much is Matches right now? Still one city.
Yes.
Imagine Matches, Otobako, 1 city. Since when Matches have been in Ghana? About 50 years. So what profit are they actually making? But it's serving a purpose, is that not so? Sometimes we should forget about the profit and think about this purpose is serving. We should forget about our integrity. We should forget about our self-righteousness and think about the future. This National Cathedral right now may not make sense, but many years to come, it will save a lot of souls.
But Bishop, if you look into the Bible, God says that we are His church. God didn't necessarily say that there's a church building that signifies and says, oh, this is God's, right? We are His church. The body that we have right now physically is God's church. So why then are we putting all this money? Because there's a lot of money going into this project. Why are we putting all this money into one building to say, okay, this is for God?
The same God made the Israelites build many times. The same God told them how they should gather, even in the wilderness, to gather gold and build cathedrals and build churches for Him. God lives in our heart, but He speaks to us in a place. So when they didn't have a place of worship, God would tell Moses, meet me at the mountain. When Jesus was here and He didn't have a church, He used to still go to church. He would go to the synagogue and preach, because that's where the people will gather to listen to Him. There are things He speaks to us individually. There are things He needs to speak to us globally, internationally, and many more. Do you understand me?
Right.
My dear, there are places built for specific things. If you want money, you won't go to hospital that you want to draw money from hospital because people have been paying money there. Why? Because that is not a bank. There's a place specifically built for money. Is that not so? A place built for health. That's so. So God lives in us. But we learn, we study. Going to church is not just, you see, we are looking at the little aspect. We go to church, pastors are collecting your money. My dear, the lessons we are learning, the knowledge, the things we learn from morality to spirituality to physical transformation, life applications, family values, cultural values, human persona. The things that doctors are not teaching us is what pastors are teaching us.
Right.
The things that the bankers don't teach us is what the church teaches. The things that lawyers don't teach us. Right now, there are young people here. Let me ask them, how many of them have read the law in this country? How many of them We have gone to school, they have finished university. How many of them know the bylaws of Accra? How many of them even know the consequences of stealing?
Right.
If not the church that is teaching us not to steal, everybody would have been stealing. No?
Right.
Because nobody is teaching us. Things that we're supposed to, up to now, we're supposed to add it to our education. We are not even adding it.
Right.
We expect people to live right. We are not teaching them. We expect people to live perfect. We are not even showing them.
Right.
What is it?
Right.
Our country, the church is the one holding the entire country on. So we shouldn't joke with the church and to think that, oh, sorry, I didn't maybe. Mommy, sorry. Compared to how much we are wasting in time on our fashion, entertainment. If every Friday you go to entertainment and drink alcohol, buy alcohol of 90,000 Ghana cedis to drink to destroy your liver and your kidney, your eye and your belly.
Right.
And you are happy.
Right.
And somebody is sitting in church listening to Massa.
Right.
You need to think about your future.
Me too. Right. So, Bishop, let's get more into it, right? So, you know, I said you're a man of the spirit. And every time we hear you, it's either you're prophesying or you're testifying to something, right? So the last prophecy we heard, I know we shouldn't come but the last one we heard was on Esiedu Nketia.
Okay.
And about the fact that he will become the next flag bearer.
Okay.
How true is that? And if it is true, we'll get into that. But also, we know that you also came out to tell, in fact, let's get into the Esiedu Nketia and then we can go into the others, right? So you prophesied to him that he will become the next flag bearer. Yeah, let's get into it.
It's a vision. Like I said, I happen to be one of the spiritual scientists or spiritual, person that I am a seer. I can look into people's life and see the future. So I do analysis. I will pick a leadership. I'll pick this one. I'll pick this one. People will come and I look into their life and by the grace of God, I'll be able to predict what might happen to them and what their life or their destiny unfold in their future for them. Being a prophetic prophet, which I've trained about 13,000 prophets, many prophets come to me, asking them about their ministry, future, and things like that. So God has given me that gift. So when I look through the both political parties, because the nation need both political parties to grow. No matter what is happening, MPP need to be strong, NDC need to be strong, and even the younger ones need to come to into knowledge to be able to help the nation to grow. Everybody is contributing to our political party, our nation development. So when I look into the NDC, I saw the chairman of their party, Esiedu Nketia, taking the mantle, because I saw that man has sacrificed so well for their party, and I saw that his season has come, that after Mahama, he might become. That doesn't mean that it's automatic, because I'm not part of the party.
Right.
So I don't decide for them. It's a prediction. It's a prophetic prediction.
Right.
So he must accept it. He might accept it or might say that, oh, no, he's not interested about it. Right. That doesn't change me that I'm a fake prophet or right prophet. The reason is because I am not part of them. I am predicting.
Right.
If I predict and you take it, thanks be to God. If you don't take it, thanks be to God.
Right.
I have given you this thing. It's like somebody want to kill you or want to give you $1 million. You were crying, okay, somebody want to give you $1 million. And I heard it. And I'm coming to teach Charlie, this brother want to give you $1 million. Have I helped you?
Yeah.
But you can decide to say no.
To say, yeah.
And you can decide to wait for it. Is that not so? Good. The same thing if somebody want to kill you. And then I come to you and say, I've heard that somebody want to kill you. And so don't pass this line. Have I helped you? Mm-hmm. Yes. You understand? Right. But you can choose to determine, you want to be right. That's what prophecy is. So in prophecy, we can predict, but it is not the final verdict.
Then in that case, what should Kennedy Agyapong do to become the presidential candidate?
Kennedy Agyapong, I spoke also about him.
Right.
And I spoke about, like I said, I spoke about the MPP. Number one, the MPP organizations need to bring their people.
Right.
We build a nation, we build organization with people. You have a party that you have thrown people away. All of them have their people that are connected to. Right. If Alan Martin, can go to all the 200 and something constituencies, that means he has people.
Right.
Don't throw them out. Bring them on board. Bring Kufuor's people. Then bring Akufo-Addo's people. Right. Form a very strong, formidable party.
Right.
Then You look for the who will lead the party. And then I check Dr. Bawumia, and I check Mr. Kennedy Japan. Right. And I saw the mantle also in the hands of Mr. Kennedy Japan.
Right.
But I have to further check the back of those people. Right. When you check Dr. Bawumia, you will see a lot of problem because of the man standing behind him.
Right.
It will be difficult for him to have the mantle from their party.
Right.
Then I check Kennedy.
Is that a former president you're talking about?
That's it.
Right.
Spiritually, he's still his father, and he has his tag on him.
Right.
There's no way he can separate himself from him.
So what can he do? So that brings me back to Bawumia, because you're only saying that because our former president is backing him, there's no way. How can he break that?
It's not about there's no way. Right. Spirituality, you can't conclude on anything.
Right.
You see, when pastors prophesy and sometimes they say, if the person doesn't do it, come and burn me. And sometimes I look at them and say, anything can change.
Right.
Even Jesus, I'm coming soon. Up to now, soon has not ended.
Right.
Up to now, 2,000 years ago, soon as not soon. Soon as not soon.
Right.
So when you are prophesying, we have to be very careful and do not, because we are not God. Anything can change. Somebody can go to God and change the matter, like Dr. Bawumia.
Right.
That man is a great man. But because of what is at his back, if he get people to teach him what to do,
right,
he will be able. Do you understand what I'm saying? He will be able to take the mantle. The same as Dr. Kennedy. If also check his back, both of them have their back problem.
Right.
Dr. Bawumia, there is somebody standing at his back. And then also spiritually, maybe I shouldn't say it here.
Right.
When you go to his father's line, there is a problem he didn't solve properly.
Who, his father or him?
Dr. Bawumia's father's family.
Right.
I don't, you are pushing me to say something.
Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. What do you call? Let's go. Right. So there could be something, right, spiritually.
Spiritually. One of the problems,
right,
there's about 7 problems I saw at the back of Dr. Bawumia.
Right.
So let me give you 2.
Right.
The first one is the president, the former president.
Right.
The former president, Nana Akufo-Addo,
right,
at his back is an issue.
Right.
Okay. Number 2 problem, the rest I'll keep it. If maybe they are interested, they want to hear out.
They should call you, right.
Number 2 is from his father's house. The Dombo family. Right. There is a voices of curse from that family. There was something he was supposed to do. They should find him and should go and ask him.
Right.
Where is the Dombo family?
Right.
So when I check the spiritual dimension back, it traced me to the back of the family.
Right.
That the family youth, the young people from his father's house, are crying against him.
Right.
And if you are going for leadership and your own family is crying against you, who will accept you?
Right. Right.
The rest, I'll keep it.
Right. I mean, like, let's add, Bishop, let's add one more.
No, not everything is good for public consumption.
Right.
And there might be, you see, some of us, yes, I never friend you know, if you have realized me, I just come and say it and I go my way. I had myself, I'm not doing it. But if they can find people like us, not me. There are other people, other men of God who are also spiritual scientists who have knowledge into the future. Right. They can look into the back and to the future and then get. So I'm not saying they should come to me. Right. They have their own men of God. They can go to them. Check it. Dr. Bawumia.
Right. And his name is Bishop Sam Owusu. He's been in the house with us. Please do send your messages because I know we have a number of them. But if you're at home, you still want to send your messages, it's 055-157-5757. We have some messages for you, so we will take a few of them. Are you guys enjoying the conversation? Yeah. If you're here, you can feel the presence already. All right, so let's get into it. This one says, hello to you too. There are more comments. This one says, okay, so we are getting into it. Please remember, keep your messages coming. Our WhatsApp line is active. This one says that, hi, Changers, good day. I am Mia from Ashaiman, watching you live from Joy Prime. Thank you so much for enlightening me on so much today. I'm really grateful for a wonderful experience. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. This one says that I've been following Bishop for some time now. I want to ask him whether he can help me see as a pastor and a prophet. So
And
I think he's a yes, please. So he wants to know how to say. He's Raymond from Ho. Now there's still more. This one says, hello, that's my father, my spiritual father, Chariot of Ghana, Bishop Ambassador Sam Owusu. I'm Apostle Samson Kochu Mensah, a product of Bishop Sam Owusu, and I'm a founder and leader of Charismatic Impact Ministry in Old Botiano, adjacent police house of Yelkomo house. Papa, go deep, deeper, go deep. All right. So keep your messages coming. Our WhatsApp line is very active, 055-157-5757. We will read all of them right here for you. But Bishop, that brings me back to you. With all this that you've said, what is the future for Ghana?
Ghana is in the pedestal, a very strong, powerful vehicle that very soon it will take over Africa. Ghana, anybody that's run away, don't run away.
Right.
And even if you're outside, try to find a place in Ghana. A time is coming. You'll be dreaming to come to Ghana. Yeah. People will be dreaming. People will be praying. I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to Ghana.
Right.
Ghana will be like America for Africa.
But you know that there are so many youth that are leaving the country because they say,
it's not a problem for you to leave. It's not a problem for you to leave. But when you leave, gather small money, come back, and come and start something here.
Right.
Begin with something small. In the next 5-10 years, Ghana is going to be transformed. So much to the extent that it will shock everybody.
Right.
The level of the speed we are enjoying as a country is so powerful. It's not comparable to any other nation as we sit now. So I want to encourage every young Ghanaian that yes, it's hard. Yes, there are no jobs. Yet there are not hopes and things like that. But if you sit down as a spiritual person or as an economic person, and then you can look into the foundation, you can see that indeed Ghana has
This has really been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for coming. But you see, we do not want you to go like that because we've enjoyed this conversation so much. I know that some people want to come to the church. Okay. Do we have any crusade coming up? Do we have any program coming up?
Yeah, by the grace of God, next week we have the Pastors and Leaders Impartations and Mantle Summit.
Right.
That's coming on next week from Tuesday. So next week, Tuesday, we have pastors and leaders. As I said, I have been with pastors all my life. All my ministry has been training pastors a lot. And I think that when you begin the year, you need knowledge, you need wisdom, you need inspiration, you need impartation, you need transfer of grace. Where are we now? How do you penetrate into the system of the world right now to be able to break for your ministry and to take your leadership into another height? A lot of people will just be sitting there expecting a change, expecting breakthrough, expecting transformation. You need knowledge, you need revelation, you need wisdom, you need anointing to be able to push forward your vision, your ministry, and whatever God has placed upon you. So I'm inviting all young people that sees me as a father and as a mentor. I'm inviting all pastors, I'm inviting all leaders, especially those young people that want to enter politics. And I want to tell everybody, if you are, no matter what you're doing, try to enter politics. Yeah. All young men, I'm telling you. Every young man that you are listening to me, young lady that you are listening to me, whatever you are doing, try to enter to politics because it gives you the platform to influence the world. A great platform. Even though every job you are doing gives you a little bit of platform and things like that, but the greatest of it all is political platform. Even though there are a lot of tackles here and there, but get yourself into leadership. Make sure you influence somebody. So you can join us in our service next week from Tuesday to Friday.
And we will be there on time, right? So
East
you
Legon
had
Hills.
At
East Legon Hills. East Legon Hills, Santo Road, East Legon Hills. So Pottersville, you type Pottersville Church. Pottersville Church, you'll be able to get there.
So be there and be there on time. Make sure that you go and soak all this energy, the spirituality. I know you can feel it at home. We in here can feel it, right? Yeah, it's been such an amazing conversation. Thank you, Bishop, for joining us. But hey, it's